Good evening, everyone. My name is Daniel Pei. I'm actually the chair of the board, and you notice that a previous speaker, Rachel Pei, I've been told to say that all the genes have come from her mother, not her father, yes. So I'm very proud of her. I was asked to say a few words, and I must confess that I wasn't nervous about saying a few words. I was more nervous of whether I would fit into this tuxedo, which is a very old tuxedo, and maybe the tuxedo I got married in. So all I can say is that the hard part of the speech is over, and you could feel free to applause now that the hard part is over. So I'd just like to say a few things about Wayside, just give you some of the highlights as the board, the chair. The board has been working very hard this year, and let's just say we've had another banner year. Some of the highlights, we had one of our students again win the science fair, beating all of the Peterborough schools and being sent to the All-Canadian Science Fair. So that's really good. We've had one of our students that we have now not only SATs, but we've adopted something called the classical literary test, which is actually harder. I found it harder than the SATs. And we had one student placed in the top 2% in Canada. Wow. We've also had, due to some very outstanding donors, we've had a new portable which houses our arts and drama. And let me tell you, we've had fine arts class this year. I challenge you to come to Wayside, look at the arts portable, at the drawings that our children are doing. They are, I would say, commercial level of artistic talent, so really good. I don't know how many here have recently attended our drama, but we had a two-night at the theater in Peterborough doing Pride and Prejudice, and let me tell you, the quality of the actual acting was such that the actual Peterborough Theater came to me afterwards and said, you know, in future years you can advertise in our actual annual calendar so that all of our patrons that come to see all of our plays can get a chance to see your school plays, because the quality is so good, okay? So that's just some of the highlights. Another one I'm very proud of being I was sitting on the bench in high school in the volleyball team, although our team did very well. I basically warmed the bench, but luckily I took that here and created a varsity volleyball team at Wayside, and yet again, amongst 8 private schools that were like 200, 500, 1,000 students, we came in second again. And this year we got a chance to play Chesterton, Ottawa, and let's just say we're the better Chesterton. Okay, even though they had 3 times the number of students we had. In fact, during our silver medal game, when it came to light that we only have 17 students and they had like, I think 300 or 400, their team, after winning, came to our girls, senior girls, and congratulated our girls on winning silver because they couldn't believe we only had 17 kids, which case all of the girls that were playing were basically the entire high school. So round of applause for the, yeah. So it's just to show you what an amazing school we have and the reputation that's now preceding us. I'd like to share one last thing that the board knows, but no one else knows, is that because our volleyball teams did so well, and every tournament we tell them, we've never played in a gym that actually has ceilings that are over 20 feet and actually, is wide enough and long enough to house a volleyball, a regulation size. They could not believe how well we did as a school. And so I got an email from the athletic director at Trent University. And when I got the email, I kind of laughed. I showed it to my wife because I misread it, okay? The email started off saying, we understand that Wayside, has a volleyball team, et cetera, and we are struggling right now to find gym space. And so I quickly read that, and I was laughing because I thought Trent University is going to ask Wayside whether they can use our gym. So I thought, this is really ridiculous. They must be really desperate. But when I got through the email, the Trent athletic director said, we'd like to introduce you to the representative or club of Peterborough's volleyball. It's a Thunder, and they're struggling to find gym space right now. And so would you entertain a call from the Peterborough Thunder about Wayside and perhaps providing some gym space? So I got a call with the Peterborough Thunder organization, and they said, well, we're struggling to find gym space. Would you be interested in building an entire gym complex with facilities and meeting rooms and parking? And I very humbly said, we have no money. And to my great surprise, they said, no problem, we'll pay for everything. Now, I knew that was too good to be true. Unfortunately, it was. So we went along, and I asked them to please plot out on Google Maps what kind of gym you're talking about. And it was humongous. We're talking about 6 gymnasiums with parking, paving the entire front portion along the road, etc. So it was a big undertaking. And let's just say that the Peterborough Thunder were looking for financing from financial institutions, and when the financial institutions found out that Peterborough Thunder did not actually own the land, but we own the land, then they started to have some more concerns. And so it is still a work in process, but that just goes to show you that Wayside has an amazing reputation. As some of you know, we've been looking for a principal or headmaster. In fact, we've been inviting different principal headmasters to the school, and we had one who was literally the 30 years at the school board. And but we are very picky, so let me just tell you, you have to have very, very high qualifications before we would even consider you. But he mentioned something to me. When he came to the school, he said, this is a diamond in the coal mine. Okay, so he was just so surprised that something like Wayside actually existed in all of Durham's Catholic School Board, Toronto's Catholic School Board. So basically, it's something that is very, very unusual, and as such, I'd like to conclude with basically, we've gotten to where we are right now. We've got amazing staff that basically talk about blood, sweat, and tears. They are the epitome of that. So we've got amazing staff. We have amazing donors. We had our Polar Plunge, which we exceeded again this year. Applause to all the donors. We have amazing corporate sponsors this year who are sponsoring this event. Amazing. So are we going to kind of sit back and rest on our laurels? No. No, we can always go further. And so as part of the board, we're thinking, should we, fundraise for the next year or maybe next 2 years? What is our goal? So we decided our goal is a biblical goal like eternity. Okay? That's what we want to target, eternity. And so what we thought of is there is something called an endowment campaign. And for those of you who don't know the fancy word endowment, it just means that there's a lump of money and you cannot touch the principal. You can only take on the actual interest, which means that if we are successful in creating an endowment, that we then use the interest, this school is going to last forever. Okay? And so I'm happy to announce that the school is going to be launching an endowment campaign, and we're going to have the kickoff very soon. But let me just tell you, it will be basically securing the future of Wayside forever. Okay, think of that, forever. So basically, I'm looking forward to all the people here and those great sponsors out there and the great donors to help us achieve this vision. So I'd like to conclude with that. Thank you all for coming, and on to the next part of the show.